manufacturing facilities, and then
Murkowski for holding this hearing today, and thanks to the witnesses for your expertise and your participation in the hearing. And I know Senator Cantwell brought this up in her opening comments. She was talking a little bit about cybersecurity concerns, but I too have read the article that was in the Houston Chronicle, and it talked. The title of the article was "Opportunities to Improve American Energy Infrastructure." And it talked about, I think, a subject called "Hacked Cybersecurity Experts Easily Infiltrate Energy Companies' Networks." And it was a story about how, for just a couple $100, a security team using a blanket and a couple of 16-foot ladders were able to hike a fence, go into the computer network building of a power plant, and basically infiltrate the network that way. That was just a way for the team at the plant to test its security and make sure that they were doing it right. The Senate has held 20 hearings this year in 9 different committees on cybersecurity, and so one of the concerns that I bring to this committee and to this hearing and to the industry is the cybersecurity risks in the energy sector. A big concern of mine, and how we have to have infrastructure conversations that include a dialogue on protecting and recovering electricity critical infrastructure from cybersecurity threats. So, Mr. Imhoff, I'll start with you. I know that the National Renewable Energy Laboratory works with PNNL in the Grid Modernization Laboratory Consortium. Thank you for your work with the consortium and obviously your lab's role in cyber resilience of the grid. Concerned about the process for recovery of the electricity grid should there be a widespread outage from a cybersecurity or cyber attack. Could you describe the process for conducting exercises with the industry regarding potential cyber attacks?
Happy to, Senator, and thank you for all the good support we get from NREL and the overall grid modernization effort. The industry has, as driven by the NERC SIP requirements, incident plans that they put in place to deal with cyber issues. They have conducted over the last several years 4 national exercises called GridX. These exercises are designed around specific scenarios of threat. These exercises are led by NERC, and their member utilities are invited to come in and participate in this artificial exercise and demonstrate how they would implement their incident response plan. These exercises include participation from federal officials, including the Department of Energy and other federal entities, Department of Defense and others who have infrastructures in these locations. It also includes law enforcement and vendor community, et cetera. So it's a very large stakeholder group, a multi-day activity, very complex scenarios where they basically exercise and test their incident response plans, extract lessons learned, and look for how they can improve them into the future. We are currently designing GridX 5. PNNL helps drive those activities. We participate as an infrastructure with substantial national security information all within our firewalls. And we monitor and drive the activity. So it's a large national exercise. And then I would add to that conversation, Senator, that with the FAST Act, the authority for rests with Department of Energy in terms of those emergency response activities. The President needs to make a declaration of an event. The Secretary then needs to identify what the path forward is going to be. There's dialogue, consultation with industry in that activity, and then the utilities would begin to implement their incident response plans accordingly. So that's the high-level general approach that I can share with you.
So what percentage of industry has participated in such an exercise?
I don't know the exact percentages. We have 3,500 utilities. I'm guessing you're having 30 to 60 utilities participating in those exercises. But the utility industry is like a wedding cake with lots of layers. And the risk in cyber events tends to be higher in those entities that have a broader span. Pacific Core, Pacific Power, Bonneville, and others, the Western Coordination Council, et cetera. They're all at the table and playing. You may not have a small municipal utility from Eastern Washington participating. So I think while it's a small fraction in number, it's probably a large fraction in terms of those strategic partners that need to be there.
And what more ought we be doing in terms of the cyber structure, cybersecurity structure that the government can use to help utilize with industry?
Excuse me, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, just how can we work? How can the federal government better work with industry to create a more proper or better cybersecurity system?
So several dimensions. One of the key issues is around training and workforce development. And so what the federal government can bring to bear is advanced techniques and concepts that are developed and support often on the high side of the activity. We can bring those tools, techniques, and concepts available and forward to industry, and that's what's going on in the CRISP program today. The government can also bring its fundamental science and deep learning and advanced computation to help develop better situational and awareness tools that take advantage of the broad sensed information that we're now receiving from the utilities. General Electric reported 2 weeks ago at the House hearing that only 2% of this vast digital data flow that's coming in off the grid is actually being utilized and analyzed. So we have opportunities for better leveraging advanced computing, advanced analytic concepts, visualization to give us a better state of awareness in terms of what's going on with the grid, where is there risk, and that's a process where I think the federal government could deliver those tools to the private sector to enhance security.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Gardner. Senator Cantwell.
Thank you, Madam